Hello, Planks again. I hope that you've just finished watching my first video about tech at ESA this year. That video explained what the front of house volunteer is going to be doing for tech, plugging in consoles, making sure PC sound's working correctly, and if you've not watched that after you've watched this video, you should go back and watch the other one. This video is going to be talking about the role of the person at the tech station, and this person is going to have two main roles. The first role is to manage the sound, and the second role is to manage the cropping, which is not done at this current moment in time. We think the system works. The cropping is not going to be done in OBS, so it's going to be done in our own software. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the video, seeing as we're just carrying on from the previous video. The state that the person at front of house needs to get the consoles to is the console plugged in, and there needs to be a video feed on the preview monitor that's on top of the rack. And in order to give a video feed to this monitor, you need to go into our software. It's called ESA controller, and it's accessed in a web page, and select a preset at the very top. Unfortunately, I don't have this loaded up on my computer to show you. Now, there's going to be a list of about 30 presets in this list. It's not just like console, PC, HDMI console, or whatever. No. At DreamHack, we had the chance to go through and do a lot of pre-cropping. So it's going to be like RGB NES 1, RGB NES 2, RGB NES 3. And all you need to do is click through these presets and apply them and see what one looks best on your preview monitor. And that's it. When you apply a preset, it does the video switching preset, it does the scaling preset, and it does the cropping preset all in one. And for the majority of setups, this is going to be all you need to do when it comes to video, because what we're going to do is in OBS, the scenes are going to be set up so that the full frame of the video window is the gameplay capture area, and even if you do need to do manual tweaks on the cropping, you do it on the preview monitor. Your goal is to just make the picture fill the preview monitor, and then because of the way we'll have set it up, it will also fill the capture window on the stream. Audio. This is going to be the bigger job at tech. It will often be shared. I'll often be helping. I will help anyone who wants to learn a bit about it, but mostly what you're going to need to be doing is learning how to operate the desk and not learning why the desk works the way it does. Because learning why the desk works the way it does is a significantly longer task. We have three main sources of audio. We have runner mics, we have host mics, and we have game sound. And these all come from slightly different places. The runner mics are plugged into a preamp that is located between the TVs and the PCs. This has got a level adjustment on it that shouldn't ever need touched. It's pretty good. If you need to adjust a runner up or down, do the tweaks on the mixer, because these are reset every time you start a new run, so it's always at a known good baseline. Audio, if you want to know, is sent between the mixer and the preamp using a pair of optical cables using a system called ADAT. The most modern version of this would be done on an Ethernet cable instead, but this works just as well. The host mics are plugged directly into the mixer using a stage box. So what a stage box does, it consolidates several cables into one central point, and then you send one cable back to the mixer instead of sending 6 cables back to the mixer. It just helps us keep it neat. And then game sound is probably the most interesting thing. Game sound is sent from the racks to the tech area over the Ethernet links that the video is also sent over, and then it's extracted in what we're calling the DVI rack. The DVI rack is pretty distinctive. It just has 7 almost identical splitters in the front of it. It has the Ethernet senders and receivers at the top of it, and then on the back of it, it has the audio outputs for the console game sound. This is then plugged into the mixer using an XLR multi-core cable, which again, we're trying to keep things nice and neat this year, because when things are neat, we can see what's wrong, so when there's problems, we can find them quickly. Excuse me. When it comes to operating the mixer, we're making extensive use of a feature called Sends on Fader. This means essentially we have 5 audio mixes that can all be individually controlled, and then we have a couple more mixes, but they're all controlled off the main mix, so you don't need to worry about them at all. The 5 mixes you have control over are the stream mix and the 4 runner headsets, and these are really important because the runner headset mixes are all different, and they're all different from what's going to the stream. So this is something that's best explained hands-on next to the mixer. But essentially what we have is 5 buttons that you can press, and when you press any given button, you select a given output. And when you do this, the faders on the mixer all go flying around because it's a digital mixer with digitally controlled faders. And then you're not listening at that point. Then what you're doing is you're controlling the mix that goes to either the stream or headset 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sound is then sent back from these 4 mixes over the same pair of optical cables that the runner mics come in on, and then into the headphone amp next to the microphone amp. Again, these do have adjustment knobs on them. They shouldn't need to be touched. They're at a pretty good medium setting, and minor tweaks can be done per run and per runner on the mixer itself. I think that's enough of an introduction to audio and speed control and the role of the person at the tech station. Oh no, there's one more thing. Speed control. I spoke about ESA control before. What we've also got is speed control. Speed control is very, very self-explanatory. It's our software for controlling the timer and controlling the overlays. There is very little interaction normally needed with it. There are 2 big things that... The curtain's flying around a bit. 2 big things you need to worry about. First of all, there's a nice big next run button. You can press this as soon as you go to the intermission screen. You press next run, it does all the magic. It will update the Twitch title, it will update Franker faces, it will update the Twitch game name, and it will reset the timer. Done. And then there is additional manual timer controls, which hopefully we'll not need to use, because the runners will be in control of their own destiny using the big red or blue or green or white buttons. In my final video, what I'll do is I'll quickly go over the process that you need to go through to explain to the runners what's going to be happening, what they need to do, what you need to do, and that'll be about it for the primer. I'm trying to keep it nice and lightweight and simple so that you can start thinking about what needs to happen without overloading with technical details. So I'll see you in that next video.